The Dolphins' red zone offense continues to struggle. Carpenter with 10 field goals in the last 2 weeks, as Rick just said. How much do you blame offensive coordinator Dan Henning for that?
Rick, I put all the blame on offensive coordinator Dan Henning and head coach Tony Sparano. They're the ones calling the plays. I've seen a number of instances this year. Third down and long in the red zone, they've handed the ball off. You got a big play wide out in Brandon Marshall, who you got in the offseason. You got to get the ball to him.
Well, wait a minute. I think that's Dan Henning, Tony Sparano. That's the offense that they're going to run. You know, Chad Henne is not Dan Marino. You know, he may become a great quarterback.
Rick, he's their starting quarterback, and that's why he's the one behind center. That's why they got Brandon Marshall. You got to air the ball out, and the blame goes back to offensive coordinator Dan Henning and head coach Tony Sparano.
Brandon Marshall's caught almost 50 passes this year. They've got great running backs.
One touchdown.
And
One
they're
touchdown.
They're 4-3.
But that's mediocre.
No, it's not.
That's not a great team.
Not with the seven teams that they've played and the 3 losses. I think if somebody at the beginning of the year had said the Dolphins would be 4-3 after 7, I think a lot of people would have said that's a great team.
The fans want a playoff team.
That's enough. The grizzled veteran and the rookie, that's not bad comment. I guess we'll have to see how it plays out on Sunday. But Davis, as for the Ravens, former Pro-Hockey star Anquan Boldin living up to expectations with the Ravens, how could the Dolphins slow him down?
Well, he's probably one of the, if not the most physical receivers in the NFL. Vontae Davis is going to get the call. Last week against Cincinnati, Vontae really limited Ocho Cinco to a couple of catches. Against New England earlier in the year when Moss was there, he had a great game. But the best thing that the Dolphins can do is put pressure on Joe Flacco. Under pressure this year, he's only completed 35% of his passes. So, you know, Cameron Wake needs to be in his face all day Sunday.
That's one thing we can all agree on. Pressure the darn quarterback. Yep. Jared, you can't talk Ravens without mentioning the big guy, linebacker Ray Lewis, and the former Cane. In his 15th year, what impresses you the most about Ray?
He's the most intimidating player on the field every single Sunday. He's got the skills to back it up. Fiercest hitter. Knows where the ball is at every single second of that game and where to go on every play. And the one thing is, he's really smart. Watch the game this week. He controls that defense.
Yeah, and he hits hard. Sure he does. Here's the Dolphins' schedule for the next 5 weeks. After the Ravens tomorrow, Fins come home to face the Titans, then a Thursday nighter against the Bears. After that, Miami flies across the country to face the Oakland Raiders, then come back home to face the Browns.
I don't know how many more times I'm going to be up here in New England, but I'm going to leave the New England Patriots, Coach Belichick, man, with a salute, man. I love you guys. I miss you. I'm out.
Yeah, I'm out. Randy Moss is out from the Vikings and in with the Titans. Waived Tuesday after numerous comments he made following Sunday's loss at New England, including a shout-out to Patriots coach Bill Belichick and a post-game love fest with Tom Brady. Moss also reportedly alienated some of his teammates when he was critical of a post-practice meal in front of local restaurant owners who catered it. Moss, on his 3rd team this season, lasted only 4 games with the Patriots and Vikings. Moss's numbers down across the board, only 22 receptions in 8 games. That's his lowest total through 8 games in his entire career. Good news, Moss does have 5 touchdowns. Hey, Davis, what's worse? The Dolphins could have had Moss and didn't put in a waiver claim, or that they face Moss in his first game with Tennessee next week?
Well, I'm okay. I'm glad they didn't take him. You just don't know what a Randy Moss is going to do in the locker room from a chemistry standpoint, so I'm glad that they didn't go after him. As far as facing him against Tennessee in a couple of weeks, I don't think that's a big deal. Again, like I said earlier, when he was at New England, he didn't catch a ball against the Dolphins when they played. So I'm glad they didn't pick him up, and I'm not worried about it. Yeah, he's a great player, but the Dolphins have been against him. They played against him this year, and they'll know how to handle it.
Yeah, and of all the problems Dolphins have, receiver probably is not one of them now anyway. And Jared, meantime, Brett Favre will start his 293rd consecutive game tomorrow against Arizona. This despite a brutal hit in the Patriots' loss. The Pats are 6-1. Are they the best team in football in your humble estimation?
I don't think so. They're a very good team, but at this point, no, they're not the best team in football. And we all know Brett Favre isn't human by now. But you know, they're 6-1, but the defense is almost dead last. You know, they're 29th in passing defense and 25th in overall defense. Not very good. I actually like the Baltimore Ravens at 5-2, a little bit better than the Patriots right now as the best team in the league.
And everybody understands